So how do you get links to a porn site with a limited budget? Good links would require some relevance to Bukkake, and in an ideal case, the anchor text would contain the word Bukkake. That is an excerpt from the article that I'm going to be reading today. This might be the best search engine optimization story I have ever heard. I haven't finished the article. So a friend tells me this story. There's a porn site. It needs backlinks so it can rank on Google. Everything about this story is amazing. It needs backlinks so it can show up for high positions on Google for its target keywords. A keyword is, just whatever you search into Google, whatever you're looking for, and it has some target keywords, and it wants to show up number one on Google. It needs backlinks, so it'll have all of this domain authority, which will make it show up number 1, 2, 3, whatever. It'll make it show up really high, and it needs backlinks. But it's hard to get these backlinks, and it comes up with this ingenious strategy. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read the strategy on this podcast. I'm going to read the strategy from this article. I made it maybe a minute and a half into the article. I was reading it. I said, this is too good. I want to get my reaction, and I want to read this article with the people who listen to the show. Thank you so much, the people who listen to the show. I'm excited to share this with you. Look, I have some really good search engine optimization stories of my own. I shared one a few days ago about ranking above the New York Times within 5 minutes of putting up an article while living in Kiev, Ukraine. That was a good story. That story is garbage compared to the story that I am about to read to you, because I know how it ends and I know the gist of it. I'm not going to say the gist of it. I know the gist of the strategy, and it's brilliant. It's pure brilliance. It's just completely amazing, blows my mind. Let me tell you the other thing about how great this story is. This story is well over a decade old, maybe like 15 years old, but it's not on the internet anymore. It's not on the guy's website. My friend had to send me the URL to this story using Wayback Machine because its current URL doesn't pull up anything. You can't find anything. In fact, I tried Googling this and I couldn't find it. Like, so wild. I literally just Googled the first paragraph to this, and it's not in Google's index. Maybe Google removed it from their index because it's so dark. Maybe Google removed it because of that. But it's not on the guy's website. The website is still live. The website, out of a 0 to 100 score for domain authority, 100 being the highest, I think the website has 46. The website has 46 domain authority. And this isn't on the guy's site. I don't know how my friend got this link. I think a friend must have sent him this on Wayback Machine. And so he sent it to me on Wayback Machine, and this isn't live anymore. So people can't get this without Wayback Machine. I'm going to read this to you. It's called Link Secrets by Peter van der Graaf. I want to even try searching the title of this into Google. Nothing for the first 5 results. So wild. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump into it. That's the context of this. Maybe the best, probably the best search engine optimization story I've heard. This podcast isn't just about search engine optimization, but when you get a piece of content gold, like the one that I am about to drop, you gotta share it right away, and that's what I'm doing. All right. Link building expert Peter van der Graaf dishes out a never before revealed link building strategy. And then it says in quotes, "Nobody will ever link to this. So how do I score in search engines? Creating linkable sites and redirecting them, the dilemma." And now we jump in. That was the introduction. Now we jump in. Many industries pose a problem when it comes to getting links. For instance, how do you get links to a porn site? I had this problem with a website about Bukkake. What? A Japanese fetish of mass ejaculation on a woman. When I was asked to get links for the Bukkake website, I first got many links from crappy porn directories and traded a few links with other porn sites, but that was all I could get. It provided me with a top 20 position, but because budget was limited, I couldn't rent/buy the amount of links the results above me had. All right, so just some context. If you don't do SEO or know really about SEO, search engine optimization, like I said, you need what are called backlinks to make your website look authoritative so you can show up in a high position on Google for that. Now, the way that you're supposed to get backlinks is you're supposed to have good content and do outreach and message people and say, I wrote this, maybe it's good, maybe it's useful for your readers, and then hopefully people share links to it, or you have something that goes viral and it's relevant, and so people link to that, or people link to your content, to whatever you're doing, because it's important, it's noteworthy, you've done something noteworthy, you've demonstrated something, you've shown something, you've given people reasons to link to your site because you're doing something novel, you're being valuable to the world, so you get these links. What you are not supposed to do is, and this is called Black Hat. This is called Black Hat search engine optimization. This is called Black Hat marketing. What you're not supposed to do is pay somebody so that you get a backlink. So you pay another site, or you pay a whole group of sites so that you get a lot of backlinks, and try to trick Google's algorithm into making it look like your website is authoritative. That is what you're not supposed to do. That goes against Google's rules, and tons of websites have been penalized because of this, have been removed from Google's index for years because of this, or months because of this. That's what you're not supposed to do. It's very risky. And this guy, he's doing search engine optimization in the domain of porn. And that's already very difficult. And there's a lot of competition, and everybody in that space is doing this Black Hat SEO. So that's what he's doing, and that's what he's writing about. And the other thing I'll keep going. So how could I get links to a porn site with a limited budget? Good links would require some relevance to Bukkake, and in an ideal case, the anchor text would contain the word Bukkake. Okay, so anchor text, that is what covers up the link. So maybe if you link to an article in the New York Times, you might have the hyperlink, that you might have the link just be the title of the article in the New York Times, or you might have that link just say NY Times, and that links to the story. What a lot of people do is they just will write, like, you can read about it here, and will link the word here, or you can read about it. But whatever that anchor text is very important for how Google perceives what is on the page that is being linked to. So if you link to a Bukkake website and the link says Bukkake, that is telling Google exactly this website is about Bukkake, and this website is like a top resource for Bukkake. That's what anchor text for backlinks means. It is the word or phrase that is being linked to. And in an ideal scenario, you want some, not all, because if it's all, then it looks spammy, but you want some of that, the anchor text for your backlinks, to say your specific keyword. If you have all of your backlinks say the specific keyword for anchor text, Google's algorithms will perceive that as spam. And then it will, don't ask me how I know this. I don't know it from doing it. Do not know it from doing it. I don't do this. I don't do this stuff. But if you do that, then Google's algorithms will, if you have all of the anchor text for or all of your backlinks say the exact keyword, Google's algorithms will perceive that as spam, and then you will get penalized. So that is kind of what this guy is talking about. He wants a lot of people to link to his Bukkake website with the word Bukkake. The solution. The real question was, what would people link to? As I began brainstorming for link bait, it was clear to me, I like that word, link bait. Like I said, doing something that is noteworthy so people link to you. As I began brainstorming for link bait, it was clear to me that it would be hard to get any links to the Bukkake website. I needed a decent site that had little to do with erotic content. Should I explain the workings of Bukkake in a clinical fashion? Should I publish some research explaining a mental illness causing the crave for Bukkake? Or should I just take all sexuality out of Bukkake? The last option gave me an idea. Not that many people know the word Bukkake or act as if they don't. The best related keyword for Bukkake is facial. I would create a website about John Bukkake, a professor of facial dermatology on the University of Calcutta, India. And he shares a screenshot from the University of Calcutta, India, for this professor, John Bukkake. And it's this like dopey looking guy. Oh my gosh, so funny. Because at this point, this is where I decided I need to share this on the podcast. And I just want to I just want to share my reaction to it. And so I don't know what happens beyond this point. Because this website was more about proving the success of the following technique, I can be very open about what we did. The website is still live, but it has no financial value for the customer anymore. Naturally, I'm very discreet about other projects that still use suspicious techniques. I wonder why this has no value to the customer anymore, but whatever. The problem with sharing techniques is that search engines develop cures for them once they get overused. Once you share them, they lose their value. Hopefully this example won't be copied exactly, but it should serve as an eye-opener to create your own mutation. Then so now he links to johnbukkake.com. Read on to find out more about the used techniques. Oh no, I'm actually going to go to this. johnbukkake.com is just this bio for the fake professor, John Bukkake. Facial dermatology. Professor John Bukkake does a lot of research in the field of facial dermatology. This means he looks for treatments for facial skin diseases. In his 20-year career, he initiated many possible blah, blah, blah. So it looks like, it sounds pretty legit. It just sounds like, it's very short, but it sounds pretty legit talking about facial dermatology. The details, creating the website. To make the site look more authentic, we copied the look and feel of the original University of Calcutta. We took a picture of a serious-looking Indian man and made him our professor. To add some extra credibility, we added research and more linkable content like the Bukkake Fund for research in facial dermatology. Oh my gosh. Wait, I want to see this. I didn't see the fund. Where is that? Oh, Bukkake Fund. Based on the research of Professor Bukkake, many medicines are developed against many bacterial, fungal, parasitic, viral, hereditary, and hormonal skin diseases. His research was the basis for many treatments. Because Professor Bukkake wants to leave his marks on facial dermatology, he created the Bukkake Fund, which links to something else, to help promote new research for the treatment of skin diseases. Can I go to that? Oh, I can. It's on here too. The Bukkake Fund. Why the Bukkake Fund? Applying for the fund, sponsor the Bukkake Fund, and then the word Bukkake there links to, will it link to that site? It links to Bukkake movies. All right, great. Now I'm not doing this on incognito, so now I have, this is so funny. So it's this old, very old, I'm looking at it on Wayback Machine. So yeah, the site isn't online anymore. This site is not online anymore. So on Wayback Machine, you can see what it used to look like. And it's just this old Bukkake porn site. All right, back to the article. A couple of jokes were added, like the buildup of semen that would work good as a treatment against eczema. What? Wait, I missed that. He wants to leave his marks on facial dermatology. That's funny. That's a line from his bio. Oh, they wrote research papers. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so let me go back to the article. Getting links. After we created a non-commercial, non-erotic website, it was fairly easy to get links in all kinds of directories. The anchor texts all contain the words Bukkake and facial. But could we get even better links? By the way, I don't want to be a spoil sport. I don't know if something like this would work very well anymore because Google's AI is much better at discerning the topic of what is on a page and the topic of the sentences and the paragraphs that contain the links. By 2023, Google would know that this is about facial dermatology and it's not about porn. And so this might not work very well anymore. Back to the article. The joke worked better than planned, so we wanted to try even harder links. We created some fake Bukkake research that confirmed the chemical compounds in Bayer eczema treatment worked under certain circumstances. The result was astounding. We got a couple of great links from Bayer that also included the search terms we were focusing on. Getting links from Wikipedia wasn't that hard either, but eventually somebody that knew the word Bukkake removed it. And yes, there are still link types in Wikipedia they forgot to nofollow. Nofollow is an HTML attribute that you put on a keyword if you say, do not pass any domain authority to this link. We are just citing it, but we are not saying that it is credible. So you do that for all sorts of things. I won't get into why you do that, but do follow links. Those are the ones that bring the increased domain authority value to a website. Back to the article. The Bukkake Fund pages got many links by trading them with other medical funds. The link pages were eventually removed from johnbukkake.com because it also showed where we got links from. As you can imagine, we got many links from many different places, and if we wanted to, johnbukkake.com would rank number 1 for Bukkake. Diverting links. We needed the links for a porn site, so how did we get the links there? We cloaked a 301 redirect. This basically means that you have a URL, and then it 301 redirects to something else. It redirects to another URL. 301 redirects carries all the link juice. It carries the domain authority, and they cloak it so people don't know. First, we created a rewrite map text file that contained the IP addresses of all search engine bots. This is some MacGyver stuff. In this case, phantommaster.com provided us with a nice up-to-date list we imported on a daily basis. Then we used rewrite rules to redirect search engines the correct way. Only the Yahoo and Google search bots received a 301 redirect instead of the normal Professor website. Wow. Normally, cloaking can be detected by humans when they look at, for instance, the Google cache. Because of the 301, Google didn't index the site and didn't show any cache. Oh, wow. This could arouse suspicion, so we added an obvious no index, no follow to each page, so not being indexed had an obvious cause. No index means you're telling Google, don't include this page in your index and don't follow the links on it. They could also use Google Translate to see something like Googlebot sees it, but Google Translate uses its own IP ranges, and we excluded those from the redirect. Detecting the cloak should be very difficult, but please mail me if you know any other ways. Other advantages. Instead of cloaking, you can also add the 301 for all visitors after you've gotten the links. After I stopped my involvement in the website, that is just what the owner did. He removed the cloak and placed the 301 for everybody to see/follow, the 301 redirect, and placed the 301 redirect for everybody to see/follow. It caused the removal of many links because people found out. He has recontinued the cloak, so it should work again. This proves that a cloaked 301 is more efficient in the long run. We also stole/borrowed some content and research about facial dermatology. Normally, a Google query would reveal our fraud to the original author, but because johnbukkake.com isn't indexed, it will never show up. The porn site has a page rank of 5, so it's showing up number 5 now for the word. It's showing up number 5 for the word Bukkake. But when you do a Yahoo link domain, it shows only a few crappy links. 301 redirects never show in any report, so it made the ranking of the porn site even more mysterious. Man, this is some hardcore Black Hat stuff. This is a wild story. Basically, what this guy did is he made it so that only the search engine bots thought the links were going to the porn site, and then everybody else thought it was going to this legit site, johnbukkake.com. And johnbukkake.com is this professor of facial dermatology for the University of Calcutta, India. And so the search engine bots were like, okay, all of these authoritative websites are linking to this porn site. That means the porn site must be authoritative. Conclusion: when nobody will link to you, what will they link to? Create a separate website with much more linkable content. Non-commercial messages work best. He didn't include this, and my friend had told me this part of the story on the phone. So johnbukkake.com has these links to these research papers. It's not just a short profile for this guy, John Bukkake. It has all this research that he did. And these research papers are long and thick and deep. And basically this guy just hired a bunch of cheap labor overseas to write these nonsense but authoritative sounding, like real sounding research papers, put them onto johnbukkake.com. And that created all of this linkable content that people thought was real. Requesting links still works. You could hope for people to find your site, but it is better to create linkable content specifically for a linker. Then you mail them to get their attention. 301 redirects divert all link points. A cloaked 301, however, diverts all link points without showing to normal visitors. Tricks are fun until they get overused. This is a trick and nothing more. When it is detected, a cure can be devised and it stops working for everybody. Learn what you can, but don't copy it blindly. Of course, this doesn't work anymore. I'm looking back over the getting links section of this. He says, we created some fake Bukkake research that confirmed that the chemical compounds in Bayer eczema treatment worked under certain circumstances. The result was astounding. We got a couple of great links from Bayer that also included the terms we were focusing on. And then he got links from Wikipedia that were relevant. And so that was the part where he created all this fake research to something noteworthy that wasn't actually real and got the links for it. This is like some trust me, I'm lying, but times 10 because there's some knowledge of comp sci in it. It's just really, it's just brilliant. It's just impressive. It's impressive and entertaining. It's impressive and entertaining what this guy did. Look, I don't do black hat stuff. I don't encourage it, but stuff like this, it's entertaining. And honestly, the topic of my podcast is outsmarting the system. And this is an example of outsmarting the system. It worked for a while and now it doesn't work. And now the websites are not even online. If you're going to try this, try it at your own risk. I don't encourage it or condone it. You got to say that stuff. It's a public show. I got to say that stuff. But this is a great story. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to find this, send me an email and I'll send you a link to it on Wayback Machine because I can't find it in Google's index. That's how wild this is. So my email is edward@edwardsturm.com. Feel free to email me and I'll send you a link to this. All right, that's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.